Debunking the Loch Ness Monster. A thick icy fog slowly creeps across the still glass like water. This is Loch Ness, the home of one of the world's most infamous cryptids, the Loch Ness Monster. For over 1,500 years, it has been alleged a magnificent beast lurks within the murky waters. I, like many others, have dreamt and wished for this to be true. Sadly, it's not, and with this video I aim to give my opinion and food for thought on the great wee beastie within the loch. The amount of alleged Nessie sightings and grainy blurred and always out of focus photographs and videos of the alleged monster, many claim, gives credibility to the tales. But do they? Or if anything, do they make it less probable that it is real? Hundreds of alleged images claim to be that of the creature, and one of the clearest in recent years from a boat captain who sails along the dark waters of the loch was recently proven to be a fake, an image created on Photoshop. Alleged Nessie footprints in bygone days proven to be faked with a hippo's foot. So does this mean that all videos and images of Nessie should be thrown out as fakes, or a combination of fakes and simple misidentification? So let us start at the beginning of the legend. A peasant farmer within the lake is approached by a gigantic serpent-like beast intent on feasting on the terrified man, whilst his helpless friends watched on from the shore. St. Columba, a monk who had travelled from Ireland to Scotland to spread the word of God to the savage heathens, came upon this horror, and with the sign of the cross, and yelling in the name of God for the beast to be gone, it is claimed the creature sank below the surface of the loch. We will come back to this tale a little later with a possible explanation. Many claim that Nessie looks like the depicted image of the plesiosaur. However, this majestic beast has been extinct for millions of years, and Loch Ness is a freshwater lake created during the last ice age, and the plesiosaur lived in salt water. Plesiosaurs also breathed air and swam in a flying motion towards the surface of the sea. Surely this alone counts as a nail in the coffin for Nessie being real, let alone being a long-lost dinosaur in the hills of bonny Scotland. Months, years, and at times decades go between each Nessie sighting. Would not an air-breathing animal be seen multiple times per day as it breathed in the cold, crisp Highland air? The River Ness, or Abhain Nis, in Old Scottish Gaelic, flows from Loch Dochfor to the mouth of the Bowley Firth at Inverness, a distance of 6 miles. Along this journey, the waters travel through rivers and canals, some only as deep as 12 feet, and through busy towns. Yet these canals and townsfolk have never reported sightings at these locations. Recent eDNA done at Loch Ness found nothing beyond the fish, seals and otter DNA as expected. However, that said a new species of small eel never recorded before was also found. When the railway was created, this gave the opportunity of England's gentry to travel alongside Loch Ness, creating more alleged sightings. And when the road was created in 1933, along the northern shore of the loch, is when modern retellings of sightings began. There is an infamous image of Nessie Flipper along with the also infamous gargoyle head image. However, the gargoyle head has been debunked as a piece of a rotting tree, and the flipper in recent years has been debunked as a sturgeon fin, either intentionally or unknowingly, taken close to the camera, making it appear enormous, or simply an attempt to bolster the legend, along with the well-documented fake image of the surgeon's photo of a dinosaur head molded to a toy submarine. Stepping back to the theory that the Loch Ness Monster is a plesiosaur. If by some freak of nature, a plesiosaur adapted from saltwater to freshwater living, given the intermittent sightings, would again go against the fact the animal, a massive 12-meter in length, needs to breathe air, and was a live bearer when it gave birth. So if Nessie is real, why has she never given birth? And why have dead young plesiosaur not washed up on the shores, or been brought up in fishing nets? Maybe it's a male, some may say. Maybe that is why. However, this cannot be either as animal instinct, since the dawn of time is to mate and continue the species, so a male would need a female to procreate. A weak counter-argument to the canals and rivers leading from the sea to Loch Ness, and why Nessie is never seen in these canals, is underwater cavern systems leading out to sea as a way of the creature traversing from loch to the sea. Though some caverns have been sighted deep within the loch, none are of a size to fit a 12-meter 45-ton animal. If any caverns did in fact go from Loch Ness to the sea, they would be water-filled with little, if any, pockets of oxygen, And as already shown, the plesiosaur was an air-breathing animal, so waterlogged cavern systems would lead to the creature suffocating. When it comes to breeding, if Nessie bred at sea, why would she return to the loch? Because if she did, it would have to be without her young, and although in nature, up to 90% of most newborns die to predators, would there still not be regular schools of swimming dinosaurs spotted by cruise liners and sailors? For a breeding pair of animals within an almost landlocked water system, a single pair would be of no use. For a single pair of creatures in the loch, and Nessie sightings are always singular, never a pair of the monsters. To sustain a species, there would need to be several hundred separate unrelated animals to breed, to stop retardation of the species, not to mention the lack of food. If Nessie was a herbivore, it would need to live mostly on algae, and if it was carnivorous, there would not be enough within the pitch-black waters to feed it. Lack of fish to feed it in the water, would that not mean the creature would need venture on land to find food? Yet these land sightings are very few and far between, and there are no alleged Nessie attacks on wildlife or even human campers. Nessie Hunter Boat Tour Captain George Edwards, back in 1988 on a Coast Guard exercise, claims to have found the deepest part of the loch at an impressive 812 feet. Many claim this massive hole is Nessie's home. So do you believe in the Loch Ness monster? Could St. Columbus' claim of shouting the name of God and scaring away the creature and saving the swimmer be real? Or, as I theorized, simply a ploy to fool what was seen as uneducated heathen animals, the people of Scotland, just how powerful God is? Hotel owners in and around the shores of Loch Ness claim that Nessie has nothing to do with bringing in curious tourists and lining their bank balances. However, Loch Ness and those curious about the reality of Nessie bring an additional £41 million to Scotland's economy, a part of Great Britain that is regularly seen as one of the poorest parts of the kingdom. So is Nessie real? Despite the lack of evidence that it does exist, and the insurmountable evidence that it does not? Sadly, I fear not. Like and subscribe for more.